And when it comes to our politicians, we'll light a fire under them. Their job is not to say things on TV. Their job are to do things in D.C. like solve problems instead of ignoring or creating them. In the America I see, the permanent politician will finally retire. We'll have term limits for Congress. And mandatory mental competency tests for politicians over 75 years old.
Trump's not going to like that. That's Nikki Haley, who didn't mind Trump's insanity when it behooved her. Now she's going after Trump's mental health to make her more attractive as a presidential candidate. And this is tough for me because Trump is a sociopath and Haley is a traditional, manipulative, backstabbing Republican. But this was all foreseeable, as Huckabee Sanders said the other night.
The dividing line in America is no longer between right or left. The choice is between normal or crazy.
Boy, was she dead on.
I don't know what I said. I don't remember.
There's a lot wrong here. Only a few days after Republicans waged war on old people via Social Security.
It will be my objective to phase out Social Security.
Haley is putting it out there. Older Americans need to have their brains examined. And oh yeah, I've been on the interstate behind an old person going 45, and maybe we shouldn't have 90-year-olds driving in the fast lane, but what's the age for mentally ill, and what would be the test? Let's start with Biden.
Your president, the president of the United States of America, Joe Biden, is not well. He is weak, he is frail, frankly decrepit. He is deteriorating cognitively at a pretty rapid pace.
The president is old, that's a given, and he has a speech impediment that has nothing to do with his ability to think and make crucial decisions. Like all politicians, Biden is subject to gaffes and malaprops, but you can also make the argument his acumen and political experience creates an advantage that Haley and others can't fully appreciate. Haley is articulate, easy on the eyes, and as opportunistic as a shark at a chum dump. But does she have the ability to lead? And more to the point, the ability to answer that 3 a.m. call? That's what I'd like to know.
Here's the important thing about that 3 a.m. phone call. What you want is somebody who's, first of all, going to get all the facts and gather up good intelligence. The second thing you want is somebody who is able to analyze the situation, the costs and benefits of action. Most important thing that you need is somebody who's going to exercise good judgment.
At the end, it said that Nancy Reagan was keeping secret the depth of her husband's growing dementia. And you can't blame her. She loved the guy, but he was the president. But at the heart of Haley's point is this: how do we evaluate mental acuity in a person elected to office? Take Marjorie Taylor Greene, a long way from 75, whose crazy goes beyond the words I can muster to describe. She believes in an assorted litmus test for insanity and currently serves on the Committee for Homeland Security. That's like making Matt Gaetz a junior high prom chaperone.
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Gazpacho police.
She's threatened the life of Nancy Pelosi.
It's a crime punishable by death.
Flood the Capitol building. It's odd, there's never any evidence shown for a plane.
And she says Democrats drink babies' blood, but only after first having sex with them.
The Democrats are the party of pedophiles.
You is someone very close to President Trump.
That's just some of her craziness, and she's not alone.
We're here to tell government, we don't want your benefits, we don't want your welfare. Don't come knocking on my door with your Fauci outie. You leave us the hell alone.
And the list goes on and on.
And I'm finding out all of these lies that you've told, not just one little lie or one little embellishment. These are blatant lies. My question is, do you have no shame?
But at the heart of Haley's missive is the Republican Party trying to recover from the last 7 years of Trump's mental illnesses, profoundly dark and dangerous psychoses. One can safely say we are remarkably fortunate his behavior didn't create a world war, although his sociopathy led to him pushing aside the science behind COVID and leading to excessive death and suffering reaching into the millions.
And mandatory mental competency tests for politicians over 75 years old.
I don't wear a toupee. It's my hair. We now have a gun on every table. We're ready to start shooting. I'm going to bomb the shit out of them. It's true. I don't care. I don't care. I just sold an apartment for $15 million to somebody from China.
The school shootings, which are really very prevalent in this country, they seem to be more prevalent in this country.
What,
and I'm
what's
not
your
sure.
explanation?
They're just sick people. They are mentally imbalanced.
You have to take out their families. When you get these terrorists, you have to take out their families.
Although she does have a very nice figure. I've said that if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know.
Stop it! You know, you could see there was blood coming out of her eyes, blood coming out of her wherever.
And he referred to my hands. If they're small, something else must be small. I guarantee you there's no problem. I guarantee.
So the question here is more than what's the right age to retire and how do we evaluate mental illness? The question is, what is mental illness? And not just in politicians, but the public at large.
This is the mask that I wore today to get in here. This is the mask that you say is okay to come in here. This is the mask I wore in here today. This is my homemade mask that your official said is okay to wear. This is insane. This is insane. At the end, I don't wear a mask for the same reason I don't wear underwear. Things gotta breathe.
That might qualify. When John Hinckley was found not guilty because a court found him to be insane, a lot of people, mostly Republicans, screamed foul. Judge the act, they said, not the brain. But if we applied that to politicians, Congress would be as empty as a Vanilla Ice concert. And to be fair, it's not just Democrats. Dianne Feinstein is finally retiring after 150 years in the Senate. And yes, I exaggerate slightly, but way too freaking long. So maybe age limits is the only way to keep people who might be suffering from the onset of Alzheimer's or dementia from working. But you can't have it both ways. You can't say you're too old to work, but by the way, we've increased the age eligibility to get Social Security. Maybe the answer is simple. Every American should have an annual mental health screening. And if you want to run for office, you have to disclose the results. Now, that probably violates about 50 federal laws and the U.S. Constitution. But can you imagine what Marjorie Taylor Greene's assessment would look like? Let's peek inside her brain right now. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why I drink. So Nikki Haley has announced that she's running for president. And she's young by today's standards, as is DeSantis. In contrast, Pompeo, Pence, and Trump look like a geriatric shuffleboard team, fresh off a Carnival cruise. But on that point, they deserve this defense. Judging people by age while ignoring the experience they might have, not just in politics, but in life, could be the kind of mistake that caused JFK to ignore Eisenhower and escalate the Vietnam conflict. Leadership is about character, and the last 7 years have proven two things. Trump has none, but neither do the cast of immoral opportunists who stood on his shoulders. Thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe and follow us on YouTube at Really American.